Howdy, Aggie Land. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
That's how long I've been on ya.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs radio, right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
You know how long I've been on ya.
All right, inject this into my veins, as Ana Rosa would say. We want to put 8, 10, or 12 players in the league each year. That is music to my ears. Jimbo Fisher yesterday. Welcome into TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. That was during the Fort Worth Coaches Night, and Coach Fisher held court as he normally does, always has great things. He says he expects, 7 players to get drafted tomorrow. Looking forward to that, and a little bit more to make the league. But the goal, obviously, to get a lot more players into the league each year, to be that kind of factory that just gets players into the NFL. And that means that should be exciting times for us here, right? Because that means the caliber of player that's going to be coming here to campus will be bigger and better than we've ever seen. And that could mean conference championships, national championships, playoffs, and beyond. And that's the truth. He also said that championship teams are built right now. So what we're seeing right now, he said May through the start of the season. This is really where those players can fine-tune certain things, get conditioned, get their bodies right, get their minds right, and certainly put in some extra work because championships are built in the offseason. And this is the biggest part of the offseason when these guys are alone. Another quote that I found very intriguing to me is right now is when you develop the identity of your football team. From May on, they have to do it themselves. That is the truth. All right, the other big storyline that we are going to be talking about this morning is Mark Emmert stepping down next summer, looks like. Mutual, if you will, quote unquote, something that should have happened a while ago. We'll talk about some of his failures, and the NCAA is changing right in front of our eyes. And I ask you, the audience, and my partner Olin Buchanan here, is college football the way we know it on its last breath? Because that's what Paul Feinbaum said yesterday on the Cole Kublik show with Greg McElroy, and we'll talk about that. It's with that, we begin the Go Hour here with OB, our Heisman Trophy voter. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
So is college football the way we know it on its last breath? And I think you know that, or you might know, Jack Swarbrick the other day was quoted as saying he thinks this current model of college football will die by 2035. I mean, it's seeming like it's going to be different way before 2035.
Well, I just wonder what they mean the way we know it, in terms of this false idea that everybody's an amateur and that nobody's getting paid, and that that everybody's here playing for good old State U and pride, and is that what it's going to?
I think they're talking breakaway league, football being its own thing.
Well, I do believe that. I've said it yesterday. I do believe that the larger conferences and major players are going to break off. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. They should have done it years ago.
Yeah.
But so if that's what they mean, yeah. But are you still going to have 18 to 23-year-olds playing for the university in full stadiums, and people being crazy about it and really supporting it?
That's not changed.
I don't think that's going to change.
I think also some of what they mean, though, is how some rivalries could be shifted and moved around, that the regional part of college football is kind of losing its identity over the long term. But I don't think any of that is changing. First off, college football had a chance, and the NCAA had a chance to not have it spin out of control the way it has, had they put some parameters in place a few years ago, right?
Which brings us back to your other point about your other topic.
Oh, the Mark Emmert?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that guy didn't have the foresight, wasn't proactive. more reactive, right? Like that's how he's been.
Did he even do that?
Yeah, he did.
Mark Emmert, you know what? The only thing he's been successful at is getting rich. Don't they pay him something like $5 million a year?
Didn't he just get a contract like 10 months ago?
Yeah. The only thing that he's done positive is get himself rich. I mean, you tell me what he's done.
Nothing. Now, he would tell you, hey, we made more money during my time than ever.
That could have been done. That was done by at the conference level.
Absolutely. 100%.
What has the NCAA done in ever that's been
nothing?
That's been good for the colleges, for the athletes.
Now, I do think there needs to be some kind of institution, right? There needs to be some kind of governing body, and I have no problem with what we call Division I football being a separate entity, and even smaller than that, right? Than the big picture. But I don't want to see the other sports go away and not have the financial backing of the universities because the NCAA folds. I still want there to be soccer, tennis, everything that we see at the highest level, but football does need to be on its own island. Does basketball?
I think that when the time comes, everybody breaks away, it will be all sports will participate, and some guys are going to be left out, and it'll change. But there was a time when the NIT was the more popular, more prestigious tournament than the NCAA, which seems impossible to fathom.
But it's true.
Yeah. So things will change, in the NCAA tournament as we know it now probably won't be the same. But at the end of the day, everybody loves the upsets. But at the end of the day, most people are looking for the championship games to be, UCLA against Kentucky, North Carolina against Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see the big name teams at the end of the day, and you just have the big name teams all the time.
Yeah, you'll have that. It's interesting because a lot of this stuff, I don't know if you could have slowed down the death, if that's the right way to frame it, but we were heading towards this years ago. But he did not do a thing to change. But people who did, and I know some people who listen to the show are not a huge fan of Greg Sankey, but I think that's a guy at least with a vision. It may not be what's best for Texas A&M at times, right? But he's got a vision. He has done things for the SEC and his predecessor as well.
Well, his predecessor was the guy that really made the differences. And you can see how things, I think Greg Sankey learned on the job. I think when he first took over, he was weak. I can cite several examples of why he was weak.
Mm-hmm.
But because of time, I'll just move on. I'll just say, for instance, when they couldn't figure out what to do with a hurricane game between Florida and LSU, right? Your commissioner just sat on his hands and did nothing and let the Florida AD kind of dictate policy. Ridiculous. But that's just one example. But anyway, you're going to have strong commissioners. I don't know if the Big Ten has a strong commissioner right now. He tried to be last year and he looked like a clown, right?
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. But I do think that at some point, there will be a governing body. It won't be the NCAA, and it'll be basically decided by the main conferences.
I am very interested to see how the NCAA responds from yesterday's news. What do they do? Because I think that'll tell us how the NCAA is going to, I don't want to say survive, but their future. If they pick another version of Mark Emmert, this is just going to be in fast forward. If they pick somebody maybe outside the box who hasn't done, maybe they haven't been in collegiate sports.
You'll probably hear the same name that'll come up, Oliver Luck. Whenever there's a leadership position open, Oliver Luck's name.
And anything, right?
Right. So you probably hear, hey, Oliver Luck.
I'd be okay with that, just
but
because
I don't
like
know.
Oliver.
But don't they always want a former college president?
Yeah.
They're going to have to get somebody who has some background in actual sports.
Could they go after Sankey?
could, but I just don't know if.
I mean, he probably is doing just fine there at the SEC.
I just don't know if he's strong enough.
But be stronger than what they've had.
Well, yeah, but you could put Ana Rosa over there, or what's those things that they used to have where you had look like a clown, and you as a kid you'd punch it and it'd go back and come back up.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, that could
Bobo doll.
Well, whatever it is, you could have put that in charge of the NCAA, and it would do more good than Mark Emmert, because at least you got some exercise out of it.
Right.
And you wouldn't have to pay it $5 million.
What are some of the failures in his tenure?
Well, I mean, how about trying to say that trying to argue that just against name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
How about just sitting around and not doing anything? Or, it was the NCAA was still telling you that you could give a player a bagel, but you couldn't give them a cream cheese for it until that kid at Connecticut, when they won the national championship, said something about it during the celebration. And everybody's like, "What?" I mean,
I wrote down a couple of just the big ones that pop in my head.
Okay.
Penn State, right? That happened on his watch. Not saying that the Jerry Sandusky trial was his fault, but the way they reacted to it, and they changed course a little bit afterwards. They didn't respond. They allowed the school to respond. Then they got involved. The Ed O'Bannon lawsuit.
That's the first one I was trying to come up with.
The FBI investigation into college basketball and not doing anything about it.
What they do to North Carolina when they found out North Carolina invented classes that didn't exist for their athletes to take. What did they do?
Nada.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They cashed a check and put it in his checking account.
Let me ask you this. How long did it take for LSU to get in trouble for certain things? And also Kansas, didn't they just win a national championship? And they've had all kinds of issues up there. Yeah, and they didn't rule on that. And by the way, he called them the Kansas City Hawks.
Yeah. Wait. By the way, what has actually happened to LSU?
Nothing.
So what has Emmert done?
Nada.
He's gotten rich.
Good for him, but bad for us, right? Bad for us. Let's go around the room and say hello to the people of the world. We go behind the glass. Sam Kamen, good morning, sir.
Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás, Nuño?
Sounded a bit creepy. Like, if I were to grade that on the creep scale, if somebody called me using that voice, I might hang up immediately.
That sounded like he's working on a 900.
Yeah. Hola, David. ¿Cómo estás? 976. You don't know about 976.
That was almost a little bit racy there. ¿Cómo está?
Sam, this has become such a bit. I don't know why. It just has.
Every morning it seems like I'm going to come up with a new way to introduce myself, because every time you toss it back here or to Tomas, you're like, we respond, and then you like critique it. You're like, you didn't start off the right way, or that was right, that was perfect, or a couple times when
I think one time I told you did a good job.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday, right?
It was yesterday.
Yeah, when he wasn't on?
Yeah.
No. I was in timeout, apparently, as David put it.
Hey, you know what I love about that shot of yours when you put yourself up? The lack of lighting. We've got all the technology in the world, and you are in a dark closet. Can we work on the lighting, Sam? Not to have a meeting on the air, but it looks like you're like hiding.
Yeah, you're like Adam James, stuck in the dark closet.
Yeah, I guess I should open up Chrome browser, because then it has like a white page and it gives me a little bit more light.
You got the blue light. What's on your mind this morning, brother?
Should we celebrate? Like, I felt like we should be clapping because Mark Emmert is finally stepping down. But even though he's stepping down, it's not effective until June 2023.
Well, he's got to get that last $5 million.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that he goes? I think there was something that said if they find a replacement, he'll go earlier. Is that correct?
I believe that to be the case. I mean, he's not going to be going on the celebration tour, arena to arena and stadium to stadium, waving at the crowd, like he's Bill Laimbeer retiring. That was probably a bad example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's like one of those failed Wall Street executives that get the big golden parachute. You're like, why are you paying him so much money if you're firing him because he failed?
When we go out, they're not going to give us anything like that. When we go out, they're going to escort us out the building immediately.
Yeah. Probably use a cattle prod. You see Billy poking you me probably with a cattle prod.
I could see that.
Get the hell out of here.
I could see that. Let's go to Anna Rosa Peterson there at the News and Social Center. Good morning to you, Anna Rosa. Good morning. Your mic is not on. We're having problems with that thing.
Are we good?
Are we? Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, what was that? We're already having quite a few texters text in that are Bowen Lofton for NCAA president. So first off, just want to get y'all's thoughts on that.
I love Dr. Lofton.
I want somebody that has a real background in sports.
Do you have a name in the back of your mind?
Well, I just said Oliver Luck.
Oliver Luck, but is that your name or is that who people's name?
No, I mean, his name will come up, but, why not Oliver Luck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Guy's a genius, and he's been successful in sports management, and he's been a player and all those things.
He's been the commissioner of NFL Europe, the commissioner of the XFL. He was the AD at West Virginia. He headed up the Harris County Houston Sports Authority and was the president of the Dynamo there. He played for the Oilers. I mean, the guy, he also is the father of Andrew Luck. Not saying that that's a credential or a resume builder, but he's done some things right in his career.
He has. So
he hired me. Another good idea.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was his
that's
PR
right.
guy.
You did tell me that.
Yeah, that's my buddy.
Oliver Luck's your guy.
I've fooled a lot of people in this world, and Oliver Luck and Billy Legier are some of them. All right, let's go back to Anna Rosa.
All right, I have some news for us. I just want to put out there. First off, volleyball announced the addition of a 2-time All-ACC standout at Notre Dame, Caroline Muth, to the program. She joins the Aggies in the fall of 2022. And then softball, exciting news for the second time this season. A&M softball, Katie Dack has been tabbed the Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Week. The league announced this on Tuesday. And also in softball, the team faces Lamar at 6 p.m. tonight and travels to Missouri to face the Tigers Friday at 6:30 p.m. So there's some news for this week.
Now, what's this volleyball player's name?
Let me go back to that. Caroline Muth.
Muth.
Oh,
Muth. I thought she said moose.
I'm gonna pull out Anna Rosa Peterson and say that I know Caroline and.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
I actually do. Went to the same church there in San Antonio. She decided to go to obviously Notre Dame, but
must have been a Catholic church.
Yeah, definitely a Catholic church, but grew up in an Aggie family and is making a return home. So
all right, so
it's exciting.
You said you're pulling an Anna Rosa. I think she's pulling a Sam sometimes because let's see. Andrew Monaco, one of his best buds. You mentioned every baseball player in college baseball you went to high school with, and they, you would have gone pro if they didn't start before you. I mean, you have done this act before, Sam.
I have, but it started with Anna Rosa. I feel like because she was, but she knew Lance Berkman, and obviously I don't have the caliber.
She helped get Lance Berkman on the show. Are you going to help us get somebody?
I'd love to interview Nathan Detmer or Caroline or whoever. I mean, you just tell me when you want to, and I can reach out to them,
All right, let's do this. Let's move on.
Okay,
The shtick is the shtick. Chase in Houston texts on the A&B text line. I know somebody that talks to Oliver all the time with a bunch of happy faces. We'll see. Maybe we can get some FYI or down low information, I should say. Right now, though, let's talk about the Association of Former Students. They've been doing this for a long time, 140 years. Your financial gifts have not only inspired them, it's helped them to be here, to be there, and everywhere. And they have done that for so many Aggies all around the world. They help out with traveling Aggies, the tailgating, the muster, class reunions, rain day, silver taps, just on. And none of that is possible without your help. And by the way, you can become a Century Club member for just about $100 a year, $9 a month. You get the plaque, the decal, and the Texas Aggie magazine, and you're helping out so many different people. So that's what the association does, right? But the why behind it is they want to help and they want to be a part of people's lives. And that's why they have started IamTheWhy.com, their new website that has a collection of Aggie stories on there that you need to check out. Go check it out today. Do me that favor. Type it in, iamthewhy.com on your browser, and go find all these great stories of Aggies who have persevered, gone through some struggles, and just their amazing time here at Texas A&M. And soon enough, you can upload your story there as well. They're going to have these booths around campus that you can go in and upload your story. It is iamthewhy.com. Again, that website, iamthewhy.com, is the Association of Former Students.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. With an easy refinance, save over $350 a month. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. High school juniors and seniors who cannot afford a prom dress can receive one from the Princess Project. Shopping events will be held on 6 Saturdays this spring. Find more information at princessprojectbcs.com. You're invited to an Older Americans Month spring event on Friday, May 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at A&M Church of Christ. This free event includes information booths, bingo, door prizes, and lunch. You're invited to the first annual Urban Optics Masquerade Eyeball, benefiting the Brazos Valley Lions Club Foundation. Friday, May 13th at the Texas A&M Hotel and Conference Center. Email Kayla at urban-optics.com for tickets. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
For almost 29 years, SOS Ministries has invested in thousands of lives to rescue, restore, and release families from drug and gang-infested environments where abuse, poverty, and violence are a way of life. Throughout April, SOS is fundraising for their entire children's ministry that serves over 500 children in the Brazos Valley. Check out the SOS online auction from April 11th to April 30th. Special thanks to SOS Challenge sponsor Stylecraft Builders and media title sponsor KBTX Media.
I said, if one just comes out, if just one comes out, Lord, I dedicate my life this day for just that one. And he whispered back in my ear and said, JJ, I don't just want one, I want them all.
Call 775-5357 or go to SaveOurStreetsMinistries.org for more information. You can also follow SOS on social media for ministry updates. Help us save our streets.
Howdy, Coach Gary Blair inviting you to a celebration dinner and silent live auction Thursday, May the 5th at the Expo Complex, benefiting Special Olympics and other charities. Doors open at 6 and $20 will get you dinner and drinks. Go to CoachBlairCharities.com for more. Special thanks to Truist, Michelob Ultra, Chili Fest, and The Zone 1150.
On Sports Talk, I visit with author Kostya Kennedy about his book, True, on the life of Jackie Robinson.
I think in those days, those early days, I don't know if it's a single moment, but the first days of 1946, when he began being, the one black player in an all-white league, even before coming into the National League, was when he really realized the challenges and the expectations that were on him.
Sports Talk, weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
What in the world is playing? Let this play. I want to make fun of it for a minute. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. OB, is this on your playlist?
It's like the beginning of a 70s theme song for a sitcom or something.
I think, I could be wrong here, I think that's part of the YouTube music collection that we used at one point when we were first starting on YouTube, but then we became a bunch of renegades and said, we're going to just do it our way. We don't care. You can find us. I'm going to keep going. I've got to find out how that terrible song made it through that was just an embarrassment. All right, it was just regular bump music. Okay. It says, all right, that's surprising. I think it's part of the YouTube collection. I'm going to tell you that. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Appreciate everybody listening in. We are still kind of responding there to what has happened with Mark Emmert stepping down. Yes, sir.
I have to actually offer correction and apologies to Mark Emmert. He does not make $5 million a year. He makes $3 million.
Oh, God, how does he make it work? I have no idea. What a life. Hey, I do want to give everybody a little programming update. For those who don't follow us on social media, you don't know what we got coming up, and we've got a great show. A lot of OB in this first hour, all about the OB. At 9:05, we're going to do a little MS 150 talk. Have you ever done the MS 150?
No.
It's fun. It's long, obviously.
What's it stand for? MS 150.
Multiple sclerosis 150. It's the bike ride, and the one that's going to be this weekend. You're going to have two different entry points, right? Houston and Austin, and they're going to meet at Kyle Field to raise money for MS. Yeah. And we're going to have Dr. Garcia on the show, who's going to be riding for the Aggie cycling team. He's doing it, and he's got a story behind why he got involved, and his partner has MS, and he started before that, and he's one of the big fundraisers for them. So we're going to talk to him about it, and ending up at Kyle Field. What a view.
I like that.
Yeah.
I wish I had a bicycle.
We can go to Academy now.
I think I would have to train. But if I had a bicycle.
Yeah, you probably have to train.
I probably do need to get a bicycle.
But the one thing about the MS 150 is it's not a race.
Yeah, it's
just a ride. And
it's a fun ride.
Yeah, and then I think LaGrange is where they stop midway. Yeah, and they camp and they all get together. I'm sure there's some beers and some hot dogs being eaten. I don't know but because I'm trying to remember when I did it with Ken Hoffman. I'm not sure if you know who Ken Hoffman is.
I don't.
He used to be columnist for the Chronicle many years. We did a show together, and Hoffy and I did it one year, and I borrowed one of his bikes, and it was a disaster. But beyond that, it was a nice time. We did not go fast. We ate a lot of pizza. We had to fuel. We went super slow.
Got to carb up.
Yeah, we had to carb up. So we're going to talk a little MS 150 at the start of the 9 o'clock hour. At 9:35, Casey Keeler, the head coach at Sam Houston State, is going to join us. We're doing a spring review of how teams have done, all the opponents that Texas A&M's going to face. I read this about him earlier, OB, and I was thinking about my old partner here. Here's an interesting little note. He is the only coach in FCS history to have a national championship at multiple schools, Sam Houston and Delaware. Pretty good coach.
That?
Yeah. We'll have him on the show.
The Bearcats and the Blue Hens.
You knew that. Look at you.
The Delaware Blue Hens.
So we'll have him at 9:35. Bronny at 10 o'clock. And we'll have Kendall Rogers at 10:35. Talk about A&M moving into the top 25 and hopefully continuing through that. I was disappointed that the game didn't happen yesterday. And at the same time, good. Let these guys rest. They got a huge series coming up. I don't mind it at all. The field obviously had some the amount of rain that it took that happened.
There was a lot of rain.
There was a lot of rain, and so the amount of rain kind of changed the surface there, obviously. So they take the day off. I don't mind it because you know what? I want to put all of our bags in the Vanderbilt series. Let's just keep everybody as fresh as possible because this is a huge series for both programs.
Yeah, I mean, you should have enough depth to be able to play, but if the playing field is playable, but you can also tear it up. I mean, we had a crazy, insane amount of rain, and I understand that Bluebell Park, the turf there, there's a good drainage system, but that was a crazy amount of rain. So
it was.
Next thing you know, someone's gonna say, "Oh, A&M trying to duck Sam Houston because rainouts never happen."
Yeah, it's sorry, and it's not always because of Bull Durham. Sometimes there's actual weather that affects the fields. And look, just go ahead and be fresh. Like, it's okay. Like, it's a Thursday series. This is not a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. They're going to leave. Is it tomorrow they're leaving? They're leaving today. They're leaving today, excuse me, for Vanderbilt. They would have played late last night. No, that's fine. Let's give them some time off. We'll come back. I want to talk some Jimbo with you from some of the stuff that I found there at the Fort Worth Coaches Night. But right now we're talking Christine Engler, class of 97. She is the Aggie loan expert, loves Texas A&M, loves this community, loves Bryan College Station, really just is out here to help everyone out there with whatever mortgage situation you might have. I mean, she is doing great work, and I hope you can check it out. She can do all kind of loans, the hero loan, a pool loan, first responder loans, and she's reminding everybody to why you should buy instead of rent right now. When you rent, you must come up with a deposit and maybe even first and last month's rent. You can buy a home with little to no money down. When you own a home, check with the tax professional because some of the mortgage interest and property taxes might be tax deductible. Rent is not tax deductible. Rental rates can rise, and they're rising right now, but a fixed mortgage payment stays the same. You can have Christine Engler and the Aggie Loan Expert discuss the benefits of ownership and she can reach out to you, or you can reach out to her right now at the Aggie Loan Expert. AggieLoanExpert.com is the website. Terms and conditions do apply. Christine Engler, Aggie Loan Expert, NMLS number 1309378. Company NMLS number 1324641. Equal housing opportunity.
Did you text the show a snarky remark? He'll bark back. It's David Nuño on TexAgs Radio. Weekdays on the Zone.
The Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce and title sponsor Texas A&M University invite you to gather your coworkers and join us for our 9th annual Water Cooler 5K Fun Run and Walk. To promote team building and workplace wellness, this run will begin at 4 p.m. on Thursday, April the 28th at Lake Walk. For more information, visit bcschamber.org or call 260-5200 for our 9th annual Water Cooler 5K Fun Run and Walk.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Garcia, candidate for Brazos County District Clerk. I would like to thank all of my supporters in the Republican primary on March 1st. It has been a great honor to be a part of the political process here in Brazos County. And now, I'm asking for your continued support in the Republican primary runoff on May 24th. Vote for me, Gabriel Garcia, for Brazos County District Clerk. Thank you, and God bless.
Political ad paid for by Gabriel Garcia campaign, Pat Sepchek, treasurer. Slim Plumbing says good driving habits aren't furnished with a driver's license. You must acquire them by using good judgment and common sense behind the wheel. So don't drink when you drive. The life you save may be your own. This message is from Matt at Slim Plumbing, where Matt has over 20 years experience in the Brazos Valley. New construction, remodeling, and repairs, residential and commercial. Call 979-485-9659. Slim Plumbing, wishing our kids safe and happy graduation season.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that will bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your family visit today at baseballhall.org. See you in Cooperstown, where the journey becomes legend.
Join me, Louis Bellina, and my friends weekdays from 11 to 2 here on The Zone.
For $8 a week, I will roll with that bet all day long. I love that bet because it keeps him engaged. He's excited. It's what Vegas is all about. It's the reason Vegas stays in business, because there's a lot of guys like John from Marshall that are betting on their teams to win national championships, and there can only be one. And so Vegas celebrates that. But I understand the bet. I love the bet. I hope A&M wins a national championship. That's going to give us a lot to talk about this fall. If A&M wins the national championship, we're all going to Vegas.
Okay, I'm in. There you go. You and everybody heard it here.
And we'll let John buy us a steak because he'll be able to afford it.
It's the Louis Bellina Show, weekdays from 11 to 2, right here on The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and it's brought to you in part by Tradition Mobile and Lube Express.
But he was just saying, man, why nobody talking to you? You ain't getting high. I said, nah, man, nobody's really offering me. And he was like, you know what? He said, we're going to change that. He said, like, you going to play with me or something, because he said, you got it. I ain't going to lie. And nobody has to do that. You know, we kids, you know, Kenyon is was a 5-star, proving himself, was still humble and had the courage to help me, you know, when he didn't have to. So I always look at that and I always say, man, that's my brother for life. And that's what you need to think about when you drafting him, because that's what you're going to get 24/7. He never changes up. He always wants to be the best on the field. He's always studying hard. He's always looking at his steps. He always critiquing himself. And in practice, if he mess up, he wants to do it again until he gets it right. And he's just a great teammate all around, a great motivator. And I don't have nothing bad to say about Kenyon Green.
All right, there it is. Layden Robinson. It's part of our stack coverage there. Go to TexAgs.com and become a stack provider out there. It is so good. It is the content we're getting out there. Billy getting these great interviews. Layden talking about Kenyon Green, who's going to be a first-rounder tomorrow. I'm pretty sure of that. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. OB, Layden Robinson, man, that guy's a beast.
He really is. And, you know, he played last year hurt most of the time.
Yeah.
And I thought he played really well. So he's one of the reasons that I say that they're going to be better in the offensive line at 4 of the 5 positions.
No, I agree.
Because he will be better.
He will be.
Because he won't be hurt.
No, he won't be hurt. We already know how good he is, and everybody around him is going to be
better.
Yeah, Jimbo Fisher yesterday with
the exception of left guard.
Yeah, we won't be better, but I don't know if it's going to be terrible, right? Like, no,
I don't expect it to be terrible, but
but you can't
you're not
lose
have
a guy like
two-time
Kenny.
All-American step in and
no. It'll take a little time.
Yes.
So one of the things Jimbo Fisher said yesterday, I forgot how he phrased it. I should find it. But he basically talked about like when God was making offensive linemen, he came up with Bryce Foster and like the way it looks. And he's not wrong. Bryce is, along with being able to do a lot of things there for Coach Henry, he's obviously going to anchor that offensive line.
And he's got this. He's a nice kid.
Yeah, he is.
But he's got just a rattlesnake personality when he's playing. He's going to strike you and probably laugh at you when he had his play against Colorado when he's still trying to figure out what he's doing. And they had that good linebacker, I think, what was his name, Landesman?
Sounds right.
And he just, with a shoulder, without just kind of shrugging the shoulder, decleated the guy.
Hey, on the TexAgs chat there on TexAgs.com during the live stream, somebody posted that, Aggie Engineering 12 posted Condoleezza Rice was thrown out there to lead the NCAA. I hadn't seen that, but.
Once again, I would prefer someone, personally, they're not going to ask me, but I'd prefer someone who actually has a background in actually participating in sports, especially a sport that makes money.
Yeah, but would you want them to be out of the box at the same time?
I would take her over Mark Emmert 100 times out of 100.
Would you take Pee Wee Herman or Mark Emmert?
Probably Pee Wee, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Got some other names I'll throw out at you during the break to see.
Over Mark Emmert?
Yeah. I'll throw. I got a couple that I think you might choose Mark Emmert.
I would take Sam over Mark Emmert.
Let's slow down. let's slow down there. I did want to get into this topic that you brought up during the break that I thought was interesting. You said to me, I forgot how you phrased it, something about the dunk. John Morant's
I was
dunk
listening to the show before we come in, and everybody they're ranking the dunks, and I'm like, you're ranking, throwing the ball down. Okay, great, fine. I know basketball guys go crazy about dunks. I've argued with Logan Lee that I'd rather hit a 3-pointer than a dunk because I get an extra point. He goes, oh, no.
I think it depends on the situation.
So I was saying, but how do you judge the best dunk, right? So I got thinking about is it the actual, and I want to compare it to other sports like in Aggie football or baseball. Is it the actual play itself, or is it what is at stake? For instance, would you say, and somebody, these are all not the only options, but
these are just
the
the
ones that come
first
to
ones
mind.
to mind, yeah.
Would you say, what's the greatest A&M touchdown? Was it Johnny Manziel almost fumbling the ball against Alabama, regaining possession and finding Ryan Swope open for a touchdown?
Right.
Or was it Sir Parker scoring the touchdown to give you your last conference championship?
I think some of that answer depends on where you were in life when you watched it, right? So that plays a role. They're both so impactful, though, right? Like I it's like picking a kid because that Johnny touchdown. I mean, but you're right though. The Sir Parker one won you the Big 12.
Johnny against Duke when he jumped over the guy and then jumped back and then finds I already forgot the kid's name.
But your point was more about like a dunk. It's cool, but see what I think a dunk can mean. It's like a block or like a block in basketball or even a block in football. What that can do for your teammates around you, like the energy that you get when you see your guy throw it freaking down. And that was a nice dunk yesterday from John Morant in a playoff game. And I think there's more eyeballs. And John Morant plays for Memphis, and not a lot of people watch Memphis basketball. But with playoffs, I think there's more eyeballs. And it was just a spectacular dunk. But, like, am I going to put it on John Stark's level dunk in the finals or what Michael Jordan has done 100 times? No, absolutely not. Because I think the stakes determine the importance historically. Are they going to be showing this John Morant dunk for the next 20 years? Probably not.
What's the most, in your mind, the greatest home run you ever saw hit?
The greatest home run I ever saw hit.
No, I know. If it was Aggie related, they're going to say the guy that beat Texas. But in Major League Baseball.
Probably it hurt me because I was a big Oakland A's fan, but probably Kirk Gibson.
Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, probably Kirk Gibson.
Maybe Joe Carter.
Yeah, Joe Carter, which I think people sleep on that one, but obviously.
Carlton Fisk waving it.
Carlton Fisk, yes. Yeah.
You know, so the greatest ones, you know, something's really at stake, right?
Yeah, so you're saying you wouldn't do a top 10 best sacrifice bunts of all time?
No. Maybe squeeze plays.
Right. But I think there is a conversation piece for incredible playoff dunks. Like,
what's your best A&M
highlight?
Highlight.
AC Law.
Okay.
And it's maybe not the most important play in A&M history, but I was there, so I got the energy in that arena.
What's your best A&M touchdown?
Best A&M touchdown. It might be that Johnny one you were talking about. It might be. I mean, there's so many from Johnny that's hard to pick. I love the Sir Parker one that we talked about earlier.
Now, the most important one, but it's not in our lifetime, so we forget, would have been the John Kimbrough with the basically they were in the hook and ladder to beat Tulane in the Sugar Bowl to nail down their national champion.
Right.
Even though they were already national champions.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there were a few Bucky ones, but
sure there are.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you have to really start thinking.
But
about
to me,
it.
it's more like I think like what was at stake, as you mentioned, and where I was in life, and if I'm in the building, I think that changes it too. You know, you get caught up in the euphoria of being there. That's what I mean. The AC shot, I don't think you had to be there to feel it, but for me, that energized me. I'm trying to think. There were some Astros moments that I was there for. There was a George Springer home run in I hope Richard's listening, in Game 2 of the World Series. There was a Marwin Gonzalez play. Like I've been a part of some pretty cool plays in sports. One of the most hated home runs I've ever been a part of was Albert Pujols, which was Game 6 of the NLCS that the Astros were about to clinch their way to the World Series, and Albert Pujols hit it to New Mexico. So there's but again, impactful plays.
No. So anyway, I don't see how you look at a dunk and go, wow, what's it?
See, I do. And again, I'm not into the NBA like I used to, but there was a time where a Charles Barkley mean dunk meant something to me.
Who was the Michigan coach when they beat A&M a few years ago? Jim, I want to say Byline or Berline, or I can't remember.
Boeheim. No,
not Boeheim. That's Syracuse guy. I may even have Jim wrong. He's coaching in the NBA now, I think. But anyway, remember A&M had just come off that big win over North Carolina, and they were just Robert Williams and Tyler Davis were swatting everything away and dunking like crazy. And he said, well, if they hit a dunk, we're going to try to come down and hit a three-pointer. If they block it, we're just going to take the ball out and come back and try to hit a three-pointer. And you know what? They did it all night.
John Baleen.
Baleen? Yeah, whatever his name was.
Yeah, John Baleen.
I kind of liked his approach. Well, they hit a dunk, we'll hit a three-pointer.
Yeah.
Kind of like Al Capone in The Untouchables. You send one of mine to the hospital, I send one of yours to the morgue.
See, when you do mafia talk, you got me like all flustered here. I love it. You know, Eric wouldn't even know what you're talking about if he were here. Like, Al Capone, who's that? Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, what's that?
Anna Rosa, you ever watch Goodfellas?
I actually have, believe it or not, with my dad.
Great.
I liked it. Yeah, it was a little intense. I don't like all the gory stuff, but
Godfather
good
2?
Plot. I haven't seen that.
Godfather
Goodfellas
1.
is where it's at. I need to watch Godfather.
So if I said to you,
hey, how you doing?
now if I said to you,
whoa, you can do
if
that
I
again.
said to you, do that again.
No, that was.
If I said to you, funny how? What's so funny about me? Do I amuse you like a clown? Would you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I would recognize that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I
watched
it religiously.
because it went way over Eric's head.
Yeah.
You know, we have a reputation, this show, of bringing topics up throughout the week, like Justin Timberlake versus Mick Jagger. So we're going to bring this one up again, Anna Rosa. So when you think of Joe Pesci, what movie do you think of?
Yeah, I don't know. I really
do you know
don't
any movies with Joe Pesci?
No.
Crickets.
Beeline.
Huh?
Our editor-in-chief, Billy Lucci. Beeline is how you pronounce it.
Okay, thanks, Luch. How about all the Lethal Weapon movies Joe Pesci was in?
Yeah, Louis gets whatever Louis wants.
Louis gets.
You have no idea what we're talking about, do you?
Like I said, I've watched the movie once, and I
How
was
about
on my
my
phone
cousin?
for
How
half
about
of it.
my
so-
cousin Vinny? The two Utes. You ever see My Cousin Vinny?
She doesn't like this topic at all. She hates it.
Don't nod on the radio. You have to actually respond.
Yeah,
the two Utes.
That's for our friends on the CW. All right, hey, let's talk about our sponsor, Chance McClain. He could do a Joe Pesci documentary. Probably be better than the one they do on A&E. He's so awesome. I love what Chance does with the Heritage Films. The website is yourheritagefilm.com. They make documentary films about everyone that you know. Like, it is something that can be done for your family. It can be done for you, your grandfather, your uncle, your neighbor, yourself. It is a way of restoring your family name. It is a way to keep that story alive and not have any plot holes, if you will, because of misinformation, forgetting stuff about your dad's past, your mom's past, whatever it may be. That's what Chance does. He'll go to your house, light it up like a movie set, interview you for about 5 to 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it takes, get the pictures, and then, 8 to 10 weeks later, you got a documentary. And those documentaries, I can tell you firsthand, are amazing. We did one with my pops, and I can't wait to give it to him here real soon. Maybe Father's Day-ish. I don't know. We got it done. Got to figure out where we're going to watch it as a family. But he is not advertising it at other places, guys. He does the Michael Berry Show, and he does TexAgs Radio, and he can do it for you as well. Check out yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. The Salvation Army in Bryan College Station has received a generous donation to set up an educational scholarship. Find out more about the Bauer Family Estate Scholarship and apply online at SalvationArmyBCS.com. Grief Share, a special help seminar and support group for people experiencing grief and loss, is held on Sundays at Peace Lutheran Church at 4 o'clock. Call the church for more information. Relay for Life of Brazos County is Saturday, May 7th. Join a team, make a donation, or become a sponsor. Find more information and a link to register at WTAW.com. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Is your business expanding? Eagle Support Services to the rescue. Proudly located in College Station, their full-service warehouse offers both short and long-term inventory storage. They can also kit your merchandise and ship it nationwide, providing an all-in-one fulfillment solution. For your warehousing and fulfillment needs, visit EagleSupportServices.com. That's EagleSupportServices.com. Eagle Support Services. Local storage, nationwide fulfillment.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Texas Army National Guard. Aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
It's Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
ESPN's got the draft covered. They don't need our help. What we're going to mainly concentrate on are things that interest our audience. We have a couple of head coaches lined up that are going to be out there. We'll talk to a couple of draft analysts, as I'm sure you've come to expect. Beyond that, I think we have a couple of strippers coming by.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
The show's out of control. Apologize. But we just had a topic come up during the break. If TexAgs was the Goodfellas movie, who would be who? And I thought that Robert De Niro might be Billy Lucci might be Jimmy Conway, but you said no.
No, he's the big guy, the Paul Sorvino
the Paul
character.
Cicero is the character.
Yeah, he's the guy in charge.
He's the guy in charge.
You got to give him your tribute.
And then
I think you're more the Jimmy Conway.
Jimmy Conway.
Yeah.
Analytical, break things down.
Yeah.
Who is Henry Hill, the rat?
Richard
Zane,
Zane.
for sure. 100%.
He kind of even looks like a rat.
That's a little mean. Who is Joe Pesci's character?
I don't know.
Dalton, right?
Yeah.
Dalton's got a little mean streak in him.
He does.
He'll kill you.
And you should, he needs to get whacked in the end.
Is Ana Rosa Lorraine Bracco?
Probably.
Yeah. There you go.
You know who I am? I'm that guy that...
Billy Bats.
No, I hope not. But I could. I probably will be. Everybody's stabbing me in the back around here. I thought I was that guy that nobody knows really, but he ends up in the meat hook, frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows who he is.
I got actually a different one for Richard Zane.
Okay.
Michael Imperioli, Spider.
Spider? Yeah, we all want to shoot Richard.
And he's not taking it anymore. And then what happens?
And then he gets shot.
All right. I promise you a lot of sports in hour number 2. I promise you.
And Dalton probably wants to shoot him.
Exactly. Goodfellas, the TexAgs movie. We're going to make like a YouTube video with all of us playing characters, all right? We'll bring you some suits. And
I'll take Billy Bats. I like that.
You like Billy Bats? Yeah. Ana Rosa.
Get your sign box. Dalton?
We're going to hear from Billy within 3, 2,
No,
1.
Billy's going to like this.
He might like it.
He's Italian. Of course he'll like it.
But he'll want to be a part of the segment, not listening to it.
Exactly.
Ana Rosa, do we have time for the word of the day?
We do. I can make it really quick. So you've heard of FOMO, right?
Yep, fear of missing out.
Allow me to introduce you to JOMO, the joy of missing out. This acronym is direct in opposition to FOMO, refers to the joy of missing out. Some people may feel when they don't go to all the events they're invited to, don't want to attend your mailman's nephew's christening or your aunt's distant cousin's birthday party. Don't be ashamed to decline the invitation and embrace that JOMO attitude.
I got 2 JOMOs for you. JOMO number 1, my wife this past weekend had her 25th and reunion, whatever.
Yeah, didn't have to go.
Didn't go. Yeah. Didn't go. JOMO. Ha! Yeah. That was great. And those of you who missed the last segment, probably a little JOMO.
I think people like that last segment.
They might have. I'm sure
Get
we're going
your sign box.
Oh, my goodness. OB, good stuff, my friend.
It was fun.
Appreciate you as always.
Of course.
When we come back here
Billy
on
Bats.
Billy Bats, OB.
You're going to stab me and throw me in a trunk.
And Richard Zane, a Spider. Can't get any better than that. When we come back, we'll talk a little MS-150. I'm going to class up the joint. Casey Keeler a little bit later. Bronny in the studio in the 10 o'clock hour. Kendall Rogers. Talk a little D1 baseball. It is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. My thanks to your text on the A&B text line. And, of course, all of our guests and callers join us on the BCSI hotline. We'll see you in a bit.
It's time. Aggie parking registration is now open.
Register for your 2022-2023 parking assignment online at transport.tamu.edu by July 6th.
Be prepared to update your license plate number during the registration process.
Don't wait. Log on to transport.tamu.edu 24/7.
Register for your 2022-2023 parking now.
Brought to you by Texas A&M Transportation Services.
Slim Plumbing says good driving habits aren't furnished with a driver's license. You must acquire them by using good judgment and common sense behind the wheel. So don't drink when you drive. The life you save may be your own. This message is from Matt at Slim Plumbing, where Matt has over 20 years experience in the Brazos Valley. New construction, remodeling, and repairs, residential and commercial. Call 979-485-9659. Slim Plumbing, wishing our kids safe and happy graduation season.
Listen to Louis Bellina, Chip Howard, TexAgs Radio, or Paul Feinbaum. Do it on your smart speaker. Just say play Zone 1150 now. This is KCNE College Station Bryant, Aggieland's home for sports.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. An update for motorists who use Welborn Road south of Jones Crossing. The city of College Station has announced starting today, traffic in the construction zone will shift to the west side of Welborn Road. This means closing the intersections of Welborn at Deacon and Fraternity Row for about a year. This is part of extending Deacon Drive and closing Kane Road. For about a year, the Brazos County Sheriff's Office has been using a trailer-mounted license plate reader on county roads. County commissioners yesterday approved an agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation that Chief Deputy Paul Martinez says will allow the reader to be used on state highways.
Just basically to collect data in efforts to help us with our enforcement efforts.
Martinez says they're able to collect data on the number of vehicles at any given time. A Bryan police officer who stopped a car after seeing an inoperable brake light arrested the driver for not having a valid license with 4 prior convictions. 58-year-old Doug Estep of Bryan is out of jail after posting bonds for not having a license and municipal court charges of not having insurance, driving a vehicle with an expired license plate, and possession of drug paraphernalia. A Brazos County Health District effort to increase physical activity in all population segments was presented at yesterday's Brazos County Commission meeting. Commissioner Irma Cawley asked multiple questions of the Health District's Dana Gayton about what she called an active living plan.
Can you tell the simple-minded person who qualifies?
Everybody qualifies, so this active living plan should be adopted by the City Council, Commissioners Court, so we can have it as part of our county for active living.
The report cited a study that showed almost 89% of the Brazos County population has access to exercise opportunities, but almost 20% are physically inactive and almost 30% are obese. For more news, go to WTAW.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The second annual Tonkaway Charity Clay Classic benefiting Allen Academy and backing the badge BCS is Saturday, April 30th. The clay shoot at Tonkaway Ranch is from 3 until 6 p.m., followed by dinner, dancing, auction, and live entertainment by Mike and the Moonpies. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And Jody Booth until 11 p.m. I gotta go back to work to get a little Join us April 30th for Tonkaway Clay Shoot benefiting Allen Academy and backing the badge BCS. To learn more, purchase tickets, or become a sponsor, visit allenramble.org.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Hopewell Classical Day School, Kinder Music, Happy Camper School, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hillcometto Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Texas A&M softball's Katie Dack has been named SEC Freshman of the Week for her performance against number 2 Alabama this past weekend. The Parker, Colorado native led the Aggies at the plate, batting .600 and smacking her 7th homer of the year. Coach Joe Evans.
I was in the dugout with her, and she said, "Coach, I'm shaking. I'm a freshman, and I hit a home run off of Montana Fouts." I mean, everybody knows who Montana Fouts is, and just really proud of Katie to be able to step up and do what she's doing. And you just see her week after week after week get better and better and be able to manage big situations. We're asking her to come in absolutely critical situations, and she's doing a great job.
Dak will look to continue to swing a hot bat tonight when the Aggies host Lamar for a midweek showdown. First pitch is at 6 o'clock at Davis Diamond with broadcast on Gospel 97.3 FM. Out on the track, A&M javelin thrower Caitlin Fairchild has been pegged SEC Women's Freshman Athlete of the Week. The Kansas native finished as the top freshman and second overall at the Michael Johnson Invitational in Waco. Fairchild's throw registered as the top mark by a freshman in the NCAA this past weekend. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hillcometto Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Don't miss a single rant, guest, or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louie, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at zone1150.com.
All right, we are back. We call it TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Told you guys in the previous hour that I did the MS-150, I don't know, I think 9 years ago or so, maybe 10 years ago with Ken Hoffman. At the time he was at the Chronicle, we were co-hosts together on a radio show in Houston. Had such a blast. It was great to prepare for it, but also just seeing how we all help impact those with MS. And this upcoming weekend, it's the 38th annual Bike MS Texas 150 bike ride, and it will end right here in College Station at Kyle Field, so that's going to be a delight. Houston to College Station is one route. You also have the Austin to College Station as the other route. 7,500 cyclists going to be involved, trying to make a difference in the lives of so many affected by MS to date. More than $5.6 million have been raised, and participants have until the end of July to fundraise. Our next guest is going to ride in it this weekend, and we'll ride on with the Aggie cycling team, class of 89. Dr. Eduardo Garcia joins us now on the show. Good morning, Doctor. How are you, sir?
Good morning, David. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining the show. Really do appreciate it. So let's, I know you've been involved with the MS-150 for a long, long time. Let's talk about the origin, how you got involved with it initially.
Yeah, so I my first ride was 1999, and I've been riding every year I could since. And actually, most people don't know this, but there's 3 MS 150 rides in the state of Texas. The most famous one, of course, is the one we know that has been from originally from Houston to Austin. Now it's Houston to College Station. Whoop, and but from its origins, there's always been these multiple rides throughout the country. In Texas, we've got 3 of them. One of them is originally San Antonio to Corpus Christi, which I've done as well. And now I think it's San Antonio back to San Antonio. It goes out and back to San Marcos. And then there's a third, which is Dallas to Fort Worth. So these are all great events. I've personally ridden all 3 of them. And I've ridden every year that the weather hasn't been a factor since '99. Great organization. They do a lot in terms of using the money wisely. The National MS Society, for research and to assist patients who have, or people. I see them as patients, but people who have MS. So no, it's a wonderful organization.
Talking to Eduardo Garcia right here on the BCSI hotline. Dr. Garcia, so how did you get into riding? Is it because of the MS-150? Were you?
Yeah, it's funny because the most people I think that I've come into contact with who start this do it because they want to prove something on a bicycle. And that's exactly how I started. When I started in '99, I had just had my first son. I had finished off my training in residency. As most good residents, I was fat. I was had not exercised in a while due to the excess of training, and I just wanted to find a healthy a sport to do. So I got into cycling, and I got into it strictly to challenge myself in cycling. And what I found out very quickly was what a wonderful organization it was. Everything that it was doing, it brought me in, and I realized after that, and for every year thereafter, I was doing it not to challenge myself on a bike, but to challenge myself to raise funds for the society. And so at that point, I started to really push to raise funds, and became a top fundraiser for many, many years, and have continued to try to do so. So the interesting thing is that people have asked me throughout the years, who wins the race? Well, who wins the race is pretty obvious because they wear number 1 on their jersey, and that's the person who raises the most funds. It's not the person who crosses the line first. It's the person who raises the most funds for the society. And so the society, if you look on the road, the top 300 fundraisers will have their number 1 through 300 on their back, and those are the real winners. And ultimately, the real winners are people who have MS.
That is absolutely the case. And so I think thinking about riding 150 miles sounds daunting and scary. And
By the way, that's not actually accurate. It's
Oh, okay.
worse. It's 180 miles.
Oh my goodness. So it's the MS 180/150.
Yeah, right. So the reason why it was called the MS 150, and this is something that, again, most people don't know, is because when it started, $150 is what you needed to raise to ride the event. So every rider has to promise to raise a certain amount of money for the society to do the event. And so $150 is what you were supposed to do. But across the country, most of the rides are above 150 miles. So the MS 150 has actually traditionally been 180 miles. And then the other rides vary, but they're usually somewhere around 180 miles.
All right. So I don't even know how many it was when I did it. So let me ask you this. It seems like a lot of, if for somebody who has not done this, you obviously have to train, but you don't have to be like Greg LeMond or, you know what I'm saying? Like you can do this, right? Anybody can do it. Just train a little bit.
Truly anybody can do it. You do have to train some because you've got to get your body used to the punishment that comes from being on a bike, for 10 hours plus. And you do have to get your cardiovascular system up some, but really the whole point is to challenge yourself, yes, physically to challenge yourself. It's a wonderful thing to do. It's how I started. It's how most people started. But it's to challenge yourself to think about what can you do to help these people who suffer during the most productive times of their lives, because most people who have MS are in their most productive times of life. And how can we help bring about an end to this? And not only an end, but also the MS Society does a lot to help in terms of the quality of life of people stricken with MS. So yes, money goes to research, but also money goes towards improving the quality of life, helping these people and their families to get what they need to improve their disabilities. So challenging yourself for the ride is actually not as hard as challenging yourself for the fundraising. That's really where it becomes difficult. Because even if you can only ride 15 miles, then all you need to do is ride the first 15 miles to the rest stop. And then you can take what's called a sag wagon, which is basically a van to the end to the finish line, and then ride the remaining 10 miles to say you finished. So you can literally ride as much as you want and then have a wagon or a van help you the rest of the way. So you could be, 80 years old and barely able to ride, and you can still do the ride. Or you can be somebody with disability. A lot of people with multiple sclerosis do the ride. My partner actually, Dr. Canella, has multiple sclerosis, and so he can't safely ride a bicycle because of it's affected his right hip and leg. But he and I ride together on a 2-seat bicycle, a tandem. And, if he had ever gotten exhausted or tired, we could stop and ride. Not that we've ever done that, but anybody can ride the ride. The real challenge is the fundraising, honestly.
Well, I was going to ask you a little bit about your partner there, because you were already going down this route, and then somebody very close to you gets struck with this disease, and how that has impacted the way you go about your business, how you go about the ride, and just your relationship with him.
Yeah, so Dr. Canella, Jeff Canella, has been my partner almost since the beginning of my practice. And, he and I have been close friends, but we've become much closer ever since. I was actually with him when his first MS attack occurred. That was almost 10 years ago. And, fortunately for him, it's been relatively stable. He hasn't had any other attacks that have affected, as multiple sclerosis can do, anything, almost any neurological, vision or thought or, mechanics of movement. It can affect so many things. But in his case, it's been isolated to that leg, fortunately. And, about, 6-7 years ago or so, I've had a tandem for a long time, because when my children, who are now, young adults, when they were each 10 years old, they rode the MS 150 with me. So it's been a tradition for a long time. Both my father died of ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, another neurodegenerative disorder. And so that pushed me more towards fundraising and everything, because the MS Society actually helps to fund research for a multitude of neurodegenerative disorders, not just MS. So that solidified things with my father's passing. And, then with Jeff, I rode it with my children. And then since I already had the tandem bike, I told Jeff, well, hey, why don't we try and ride it together? What do you think? And he was like, well, sure, why not? So we started to train and we ended up, he had a knee brace and we ended up kind of, his leg would hit the bar. So we put a padding on it. So we kind of fixed it up so that he could ride. And we just started to ride and ride and ride. And I mean, my tandem is green. So, we call it the Mean Green MS Fighting Machine. And, since we joined the A&M team, we actually I repainted it and put it in maroon, Aggie cycling, and it's got, some kind of A&M sayings that are actually written or into the paint now. So it's meant to raise awareness. And it's been a wonderful thing. It's been a wonderful journey. It's been a wonderful journey with my partner. And every year that goes by, I hope and pray that more and more that, this can be beaten, and the Aggie community has been so wonderful. We were riding to Austin, and when it turned out that that College Station took this over, oh my God, it was like an explosion of happiness within the team and with all of us, because we all knew this, the Aggie spirit of giving and the Aggie spirit of taking on challenges, if you will. This is perfect for the MS Society. It really is.
Well, I was going to say, how cool is it? I don't care where your allegiances lay, to show up at Kyle Field there. You've done this.
Oh
grueling,
my gosh!
Talk about that.
I cannot wait. And sadly, the last 2 years we haven't been able to do that. The first year it was supposed to happen was 2020, and it got canceled due to COVID. And last year we were supposed to ride into Kyle Field, and again, sadly, it got canceled because of a storm that flooded the streets. But we are just chomping at the bits to come into Kyle Field. I can't wait.
Dr. Eduardo Garcia with us here on the BCSI hotline. He's riding in the MS 150 this upcoming weekend. So you're an interventional pain specialist. So you've helped many with MS throughout the years. So how has it changed? You've been riding this for now 20 years. Has there been a lot of progress, noticeable progress?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So and early on, when I started to take up the mantle for fundraising, it became about raising funds for my patients. So, every year. So the MS Society gives you a little bandana that you can, write something on it or whatnot and wear it proudly, on your bicycle or on yourself, as you ride for someone in particular. So every year I used to take a different patient of mine that has MS and, ask them to write something on there for me. And, I would ride for them, if you will. And, it's interesting because early on, 20 years ago, there were very limited drugs. There were very limited knowledge, if you will. And, I want to say there was maybe less than 10 medicines that were helpful. Today, there's like 25, I believe, if not more, and they're getting better and better, infusions that are available, treatments that are available. The knowledge base is growing in terms of how does MS, what brings it about, it is accelerating. And as we, as computing power improves, as researchers are able to do more with learning of genetics, then the knowledge is accelerating. And it's, it takes a lot of money because these things, these systems cost a lot of money. But I'll tell you, the way that people have been able to be stabilized, that's key. That's the important part, because MS in general can attack and reattack and reattack. So if you can stop the attacks, you can keep somebody at the very least at their level of disability without getting worse. And that's what we're seeing. That's what's key.
Dr. Garcia, can you talk a little bit about the community too itself, that those of you who participate in this, there's a brotherhood that is developed, a sense of family during the race, but also through your training and through the results, through fundraising, just you guys become like just a great community. Yeah, it really is. It is a brotherhood, sisterhood, a group.
a lot of it does come from the desire to physically get better, to exercise, but it feeds the soul too. Spiritually, you bond, you get better at having that strength of friendship and unity, and you're doing something for really. I haven't met anybody who doesn't know somebody who has multiple sclerosis. Honestly, I mean, if you look around, I don't know. I mean, I know so many people with MS, and even if you don't think you know somebody with MS, it's probably because they haven't told you, but it affects so many people. And, so I think everybody understands the importance of it. And when you're, coming together to ride or to do training rides or, along the way, if anyone has never ridden it before, you're missing out on something special, because it's not just, again, when I go back to the first or second time that I rode it, I would just try to go fast, try to get there as quick as possible, because it was all about the bike, the race. I didn't understand it at the time. Even though I was a young physician, I truly didn't understand it. And then when I said, okay, and now I get it, and I stopped at the rest stops. I actually, enjoyed the time. It wasn't a race to get to the end. It was more of soaking in the experience. Then it became actually a wonderful thing. I wasn't trying to get to the finish line. I was enjoying the journey. And so at each rest stop, all the people that come out, I mean, they're, typically there's bands playing, or there's, DJs, and there's, a lot of folks with MS that are sitting there at the rest stops, in their wheelchairs, or, and just cheering you on, as you go through towns, they're cheering you on, and you can really feel that spirit, enjoy and soak it in. That's what it's really about.
Dr. Eduardo Garcia, thank you so much for joining us. Those words are perfectly encapsulating exactly what the MS 150 is all about. Thank you for making time for us, and good luck this weekend, and we look forward to seeing how everything goes here, and get you back on the show at some point.
Absolutely, David. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. There he is, Dr. Eduardo Garcia on the BCSI hotline there. He'll be taking place, it'll be taking place this weekend, the Texas MS 150 bike ride. You got Austin to College Station, and also Houston to College Station as well, ending up there at Kyle Field. Appreciate that time right there from Dr. Garcia. Right now, I want you to experience the difference with Caprock Health System, patient-centered care. They are 100% locally owned and operated right here in the Brazos Valley, and they try to put the patient first in every decision that they make. They don't try, they do. That is exactly what they do. They are so nice, and they just, when you walk in there, you can go there with your daughter. You can go there because you're going through a situation. You want to get out of there as quickly as possible. Well, that's their goal. They want you to feel better. They want to take care of you immediately, and they do it so well. They also have zero wait time for emergency care, so you'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room to get health care right there. It is the hospital and 24-hour emergency care center in College Station. You got the Caprock Hospital in Bryan. It is Caprock Health System.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. With an easy refinance, save over $350 a month. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. High school juniors and seniors who cannot afford a prom dress can receive one from the Princess Project. Shopping events will be held on 6 Saturdays this spring. Find more information at princessprojectbcs.com. You're invited to an Older Americans Month spring event on Friday, May 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at A&M Church of Christ. This free event includes information booths, bingo, door prizes, and lunch. You're invited to the first annual Urban Optics Masquerade Eyeball, benefiting the Brazos Valley Lions Club Foundation. Friday, May 13th at the Texas A&M Hotel and Conference Center. Email Kayla at urban-optics.com for tickets. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon. Replacement windows, like other major purchase items, will at some time in the future need service, whether warranty or not. If you purchase your replacement windows from Intercon, you'll just phone our local number and we'll take care of your issue in a prompt and professional way. Every one of Intercon's personnel who answer the phone will know how to involve the right people to find a solution. With Intercon, you won't spend hours manipulating through an automated phone tree. If you consider purchasing your replacement windows from another window source, a good exercise would be to call the service department of the other company. You might come away thinking it'd be better to put your trust in a local company with a solid and well-established reputation. Ask your friends and colleagues about the customer experience they had with Intercon. We are proud of our track record and our commitment to long-term customer service. Trust Intercon, a family-owned local business, with all of your window needs.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
If you own construction equipment and need replacement rubber tracks, now's the time to get $200 off your next set of rubber tracks at WPI. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan. Hurry in. $200 off rubber tracks in soon. Highway 21 East at Marino Road or click WPI.com.
On Sports Talk, I visit with author Kostya Kennedy about his book, True, on the life of Jackie Robinson.
I think in those days, those early days, I don't know if it's a single moment, but the first days of 1946, when he began being, the one black player in an all-white league, even before coming into the National League, was when he really realized the challenges and the expectations that were on him.
Sports Talk, weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
Coach Adazio, obviously, your first couple of years under Coach Henson. Coach Adazio, what differences did you notice? And have you noticed, are you doing some different things technique-wise, or just is it coaching style, or a little bit of both?
I think it's both, the coaching style and also the technique-wise. I could say when you realize with Coach Adazio, he's more of old school lineman. He's believing the lineman move the front, run the ball type of guy. He's he wants to move you. He doesn't want to try to find a scheme to go around you. He doesn't want to try that. He wants to literally say, "Oh yeah, we're coming right at you." And we're gonna show you how dominant we are. That's his biggest focus, which is to be dominant and aggressive and to impose our will on the D lineman. And I really think that's important in the game to set the tone.
There he is, Layden Robinson. Go check that out. Go to TexAgs.com, be a part of our stacked content, and just help out there in many different ways. You get amazing content. Layden Robinson with Billy Lucci yesterday, breaking down the addition of Steve Adazio and how this offensive line is going to be ferocious to deal with. We're going to talk a lot about what Jimbo and the Aggies have ahead. We have Casey Keeler joining this program, the head coach at Sam Houston, here in the next segment. They get them the first weekend of the season here at Kyle Field, so we're looking forward to talking about that. So yesterday, Jimbo held court as he normally does when he speaks. Always good stuff there. He did that at the Fort Worth Coaches Night, and it was good stuff. And one of the things that he talked about was SEC expansion. Jimbo says it's coming, it's fine. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the divisions. It's the best league in ball, and it just got better. That sounds like somebody who says, bring it, let's go. The SEC it's already so hard, and you're adding a couple of rich programs to it, and it's going to be very interesting. Like, I have tried to rack my brain how they're going to do it. Obviously, the leader in the clubhouse, at least when you hear opinions from the analysts out there, it's going to be some kind of pod system, and who A&M is, podded with, if you will. Bottom line is, you continue to recruit at the level they've recruited at since Jimbo arrived on campus, and I'm not just talking about the number one class. I'm talking about it just in general, the way they are getting their athletes. That's the A. B, you have, the A is really the coach you got who made that all possible for you, right? Your head coach, Jimbo Fisher, made this all possible. You got him from Florida State for this opportunity, and he is the right coach at the right time. The sleeping giant is awake, and why not this year? Why not next year, right? Like, I feel like that's been the conversation piece for a while. It's like, next year. Next year might be here, guys. The only thing holding this team back might be some youth and experience, but everybody else is kind of dealing with the same stuff. So from that respect, I think we are headed in the right place. And he says that yesterday. He said, we didn't reach our goals yet, but we will. I promise you that. You don't have to go win another state. You don't have to go to another state to win a championship. Two of the big lines that he had yesterday. And I'll tell you what, that earlier quote that I read to you guys when he was saying, some of the best teams he ever had are because of not accomplishing what you wanted to accomplish the year prior. 8-4 is not good enough here at Texas A&M, regardless of the reasons. It's not. He knows that. We all know that. But we know there are reasons for that, and we also know that motivation, that anger from that past season should carry them through this offseason. And when the season starts, watch out. All right, we're going to talk about that start of the season. When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio, we will talk with the head coach of the Bearcats, Casey Keeler, right here on the show.
You'll probably find him at an Aggie game, the gym, or Veterans Park. It's David Nuño on TexAgs Radio. Mornings from 8 to 11 on the Zone.
When your diesel truck or construction equipment needs DEF, WPI has the best price in town. Only $8.50 for 2.5 gallons. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings to teeth, buckets and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 east at Marina Road, or click WPI.com.
Big deals. Looking for more ways to save money? Aren't we all? Jenny here. Shop your local Big Deals online store. You'll find gift certificates to all kinds of local businesses, places where you already shop, restaurants you already love, and great local entertainment. The best part? All of these gift certificates are on sale at discounted prices. Get them for yourself or buy them as a gift. Shop and save. You'll be glad you did.
AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
It's time. Aggie parking registration is now open.
Register for your 2022-2023 parking assignment online at transport.tamu.edu by July 6th.
Be prepared to update your license plate number during the registration process.
Don't wait. Log on to transport.tamu.edu 24/7.
Register for your 2022-2023 parking now.
Brought to you by Texas A&M Transportation Services.
Property tax statements. We all receive them, but at times we need an expert to help appeal our assessment. At Paramount's Property Tax Consultants in College Station, we specialize in appealing property taxes, saving property owners over $1 million in taxes last year. Whether it's your residence, investment property, or commercial property, to reduce your property taxes, trust Property Tax Consultants, 35 years of experience to deliver. Visit PropertyTaxConsulting.com for your free consultation today.
For years, you've heard me say, we'll show you how to make mowing as close to fun as it gets. Hi, this is David Hogan with Kyrus, inviting you to come out and check our inventory of Ferris zero-turn mowers with full suspension. The zeros are still in effect with 0 down and 0% interest on all zero-turn riding mowers in stock. Cut your mowing time in half with 0 down and 0% interest on all zero turns. Come see us at Kyrus Truck Center, Highway 21, half-mile east of the bypass in Bryan.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
The honeymoon period is going to be over if Dak Prescott does not put this team on his back. And you talked about the money. Yeah, people had reservations about the money. The Dallas Cowboys did because they felt that he could be Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach. But he's yet to prove that and show that. Look, this team is either NFC Championship or Super Bowl appearance, or it's going to be a lot of people have to answer to Sean Payton next year, in my opinion.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
All right, we are continuing with our spring wrap-up of all the teams Texas A&M is going to be taking on this fall. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we're going to go right down the road to Huntsville, and we're joined by a national champion. In fact, he is the only FCS coach to do it with 2 different schools, Sam Houston, and that was just 2021, and Delaware back in 2003. Casey Keeler joining the program. Coach, how are you, sir?
Hey, David. Hey, less than a year ago, we won the national championship. That's what's crazy. You don't realize that, playing that spring season, a lot has happened since we won the national championship. And now, less than a full year later.
Coach, I covered you when I was at ABC 13, and I tell you that spring season was fun from my perspective because during the fall we were divided up. You got U of H playing, you got A&M playing, Texas playing, you guys were playing. It was nice to concentrate on you guys for the local media and follow you through that national championship. How much momentum did that give to the program beyond winning, just the eyeballs and the attention?
Well, if you think about it, we had the single greatest season in the history of college football for a calendar year. I mean, we won 21 games in one calendar year. We won a national championship, and we won 3 conference championships. And people look at me, 3 conference championships. We were in the Southland in the spring. We were in the WAC in the fall. Then we were in the ASUN WAC Challenge for the automatic qualifier. So we'll go down as the single greatest season in the history of college football in a calendar year. And again, I think a lot of eyeballs were on us because, you know, no one else was playing. And I know all my buddies in the NFL, that's what they would do on a Saturday afternoon. They'd watch FCS games. And same thing when we got in the playoff run, everyone was watching those games, and it was pretty cool to kind of get a national spotlight.
2-part question for you. How much fun are you having there at Sam Houston, and why is it such a great fit?
When I stand on the 50-yard line and I take a 3.5-hour radius from where I'm standing, I got the best high school football in America. And so, I mean, for a college football coach, I remember the first person to call me when I landed in Texas, I had a phone message from Dick Vermeil. For those young guys, they might not know who Dick Vermeil is, but Dick Vermeil is going into the NFL Hall of Fame this year, and you know, won a Super Bowl with the Cardinals. And I was the last cut with him with the Philadelphia Eagles. And he says, "You're living the dream. You are a college football coach in the greatest high school football hotbed in America. I mean, just go enjoy it." And, you know, we've had a lot of fun here, and we've won a lot of ball games. And, you know, with all the success we've had, we now get a chance to bump up the Conference USA, which is pretty exciting. And it really fits my skill set. I'm a problem solver. You know, I mean, I think being a head college football coach is, you know, problem solving in real time. And that's what I do. And we are making this transition. And, you know, this year we open with A&M, and then we have a WAC schedule. And then after that, we're going full-fledged Conference USA. So a lot of moving parts. You know, moving from 63 scholarships to 75 scholarships. There's a lot of things going on with all those kind of things. Trying to add some infrastructure to our recruiting department and those kind of things. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me, kind of making this transition and watching us grow.
I saw this note as I was preparing for the interview. You guys are the winningest program in Texas since 2010. What has been the secret to the success?
Yeah, if you think about it, in the last decade, we're the 6th winningest program in the country in Division I, behind North Dakota State, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma. And I think a lot of it's obviously the great location. The other part is that I have people above me who want us to be successful. I mean, it's really hard to win unless the people above you want you to win. And when I came to Sam Houston, it was pretty evident, talking to Bobby Williams, our athletic director, that he's bringing me here to win a national championship. That was the whole mindset. You've done this. You've been in a bunch of national championship games. We've been there, but we want to win that next game, be the national champs. And I said, yeah, that's why I'll come, because, I'm going to pack up the rescue dog and my wife and move 1,500 miles to Texas, because I want to try to win another national championship. And that's what was great about coming here. I knew I could do it here. Not only my location, but also the commitment from the people around me. They wanted to win a national championship.
So let's get to know the team a little bit. Tell me about the spring. I know you've had some departures. Some guys hope to be playing in the NFL. I know you had a huge pro day recently. Just tell me about who's on the roster this year that we need to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, we graduate like 11 All-Americans. And so that's hard, But at the same time, we have some great players coming back. I think Ife Adehi is probably the guy everyone's going to know about. He had the reception in the North Dakota State game, the big reception, 3rd and 10 down the sideline, catches the ball, almost going out of bounds, guy draped on him. We go down, score 2 plays later. And then he had the touchdown catch in the national championship game to win the national championship with 16 seconds left. So he's a guy, maybe the fastest player I've ever coached. We just got done doing 40s out there, with our strength training program. We kind of end spring ball early so we can get back in the weight room and hit. And he was in a mid-4 threes. So, I mean, he's just a great player. We're going to do a lot of stuff with him. So excited to have him back. We lose a ton of guys on defense, but, Trevor Williams, our middle linebacker, who's actually a College Station kid. I mean, he's a kid who walks on, no one's scholarship, and he's 5'9", 195 pounds, ends up being one of the best players in America. He's, hasn't grown. He's still 5'9", but he's about 205, 210 pounds. Just got done benching 405. just a great team leader, just all over the field. We call him the field mouse because, you can't find him sometimes out there. But so we have, a couple great players on offense and defense coming back. But boy, we're going to have a lot of new players when we open up against A&M, that's for sure.
So Eric Schmidt, a lot of us saw him play at many levels, high school and obviously there at Sam Houston. He moves on. Tell us about the quarterback position.
Yeah, so Shoemaker's coming. It was a guy who played for us last year. It was a Lafayette transfer, was actually freshman All-American. And he actually played that Battle of the Piney Woods game. Eric had taken 4 hits, 4 personal fouls in 3 weeks. And he actually passed his concussion protocol going into the Battle of the Piney Woods. And our training staff and the coaching staff felt it wasn't the right thing to put him out there. But that's the kind of confidence we had in Shoemaker to go out there and get it done. And he did. And we went and won a big ball game there. We signed a young man named Yates, Jordan Yates, TJ Yates' nephew, and started 6 games at Georgia Tech. Really athletic kid. I mean, there's one clip I'm watching them playing Notre Dame. He pulls down for about 70 yards and takes it down to like the 10-yard line. So really athletic guy. We can do a lot of things with him. He'll be coming in May 31st when the rest of the team comes in. So it's probably going to be a kind of a 2-man battle there for the starting quarterback job. I think we have 2 guys who are really both leaders, both have a real good skill set. And again, losing Eric is a big deal, but I think we're going to be fine at the quarterback spot.
For those who don't remember, TJ Yates was the quarterback for the Texans and helped them win a playoff game. So that's a little circle of how I've covered some of these guys throughout the years. So let's talk about your schedule. Obviously, opening up with Texas A&M, very interesting for our listeners and viewers on the show. Do you like the idea of taking on an SEC team to start the season, just to kind of go out the gate and try to do it, or would you rather have a little time for that?
Oh, no, I think the best time to play them is right away. Obviously they've had a phenomenal recruiting class, but it's going to be all those guys' first barbecue in that stadium. And there's going to be a lot of wide-eyed looking around. And so you try to catch lightning in the bottle. I explain it this way. Winning 21 games in a row is really hard. Winning 3 conference championships in 10 months is really hard. Winning a national championship is really hard. The first one ever in the history of FCS football in the state of Texas. Beating A&M is going to be hard, but we've done hard things before. So that's kind of the mindset we have. Because I've had people ask me, is this a money game? Yeah, I think they're going to be paying us some money to go play. I don't know how much. I don't really care. But I see this as an opportunity. Every obstacle in my world I see as opportunities. And in my mind, we've done a lot of hard things with this program recently. Here's just another hard thing that we're going to try doing. So we're going to go have a lot of fun in that ball game.
Yeah, without a doubt. What do you think about the job Jimbo has done with A&M beyond the recruiting and just waking up that sleeping giant?
Yeah, big time fan. Really big time fan. I think it's a big loss losing Elko. I actually got Elko his first coordinating job. I hired the defensive coordinator from the school he was at. I think it was Fordham at the time to become my defensive coordinator, and that gave him his first shot. So I take credit for everything. I'll take credit for giving Elko his first coordinating spot. But no, Jimbo's done a great job. Great staff, and obviously they've recruited at a really high level. But, just recruiting at a high level doesn't mean your kids go play at a high level. Look at Texas. Texas is struggling. And sometimes the guys just like wearing the gear. Jimbo's got those guys believing that it's more than just wearing the gear. It's going out and playing at the level that A&M is expected to play at. So, a big fan of Jimbo. And like I said, he's done it multiple places. This isn't the first time he's done this. It's not like anyone should be surprised that he is A&M going in the right direction.
I know your team's played in huge crowds, huge moments, but what about the opportunity to play at Kyle Field with 100,000 fans watching?
Oh, yeah. When my wife and I first got here, we said, listen, let's take in the culture. If we have an off week, let's go see a Baylor game. Let's go see a Texas game. Let's go see an A&M game. There's nothing you can describe. You can't describe the atmosphere at a Texas A&M game. You just can't. I'm trying to link arms with everybody and rocking back and forth. It's just awesome. And so I'm so happy that our players get a chance to experience this. I really wish the guys who just won the national championship, I wish all those guys would be back to go experience that. One of my great joys was after we won the national championship, we had redone our facility. And I was so happy that the guys who won the national championship and didn't have a locker room for a full season, I mean, they did their own laundry. They changed in the stadium. You know, we used our weight room as our locker room on game day. They got a chance to be in that locker room for a full year, you know, kind of a reward. I wish they could have the reward of going playing at Kyle Field against A&M because, again, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and we're excited to go, you know, take on that challenge.
Casey, what do you think about the direction of college football right now, transfer portal, NIL? I know as a coach you have to evolve as the game evolves, but, you know, how do you see it going, and what do you like about it?
I'm afraid it's going to ruin our game. I'm being honest. I don't like anything about it. I think the NIL stuff was all, you know, the intentions were pure, but now this has gone all in a different direction than anyone anticipated. The transfer portal, I mean, you spend more time recruiting your own players now. You spend more, and so I'm a culture guy, so it really doesn't affect us a whole lot. We've not lost. I lost some players this year because we don't have anything to play for. We can't go to a bowl game, and we can't go win a national championship. We can't go to the playoffs this year because we're in transition. You know, so an All-American tailback decided to transfer to Colorado because he graduated already, was an All-American already, won a national championship already, had another offensive lineman, you know, transferred to Oklahoma State. So fortunately, I haven't lost a lot of guys because we do have a great culture, but it's hard to coach them hard now. I mean, you know, you say the wrong thing in a press conference, you know, you're a little bit more demanding than they think you should be. All of a sudden they have the option of going in the portal. It just doesn't, it's not, I don't think it's good for our game. I really don't. And so, yeah, but I think, you know, again, problem solving in real time. You know, we got to make sure we manage this. And a lot of what I'm talking to our staff about is keep on working the culture, because that's what's going to keep them here. They're going to start to realize more and more the grass isn't greener. Like being at a place where people care about you, being at a place where it's more than just wins and losses, it's us being a family. You know, that's the kind of stuff that's going to keep our players here. But it's hard because, you know, there's a lot of tugging going on behind the scenes. You know, junior college coaches saying, hey, listen, I found a better deal for you if you want to leave, you know, Sam Houston, or a high school coach. I mean, it's just really not good for our profession. And I think eventually we got to figure this whole thing out. I don't know what to do right now, but I think we're all trying to figure this out as time goes on.
And what I'm worried about is that we've already allowed it to happen. How do you kind of rein it back in? Do you have any thoughts?
That the genie's out of the bottle. You're 100% right, David. The genie is out of the bottle. You know, you can't stuff that sucker back in. But I just think we have to just keep on having some common sense and maybe put some academic restrictions on. Okay, you can only leave if you're a 2.75 or better. I mean, it's just too easy right now. It's just way too easy for guys to say, you know, coach was a little hard on me today, and I think I should go somewhere else. Or, you know, look what happened to HBU. HBU's offensive coordinator leaves, and they take the quarterback and the two best receivers. I mean, that wasn't fair to HBU put themselves in a position to possibly go win some ball games and really kind of get on track. And now they take a step back last year, not to their fault. They recruited the right kids, but it was just too easy for those guys to leave. So, yeah, you know, I mean, I get the argument. It was so easy for coaches to leave. I get that. But I just think that, you know, when you're trying to mold young men, and that's, David, it's corny, but my vehicle is coaching football. I'm a mentor. I'm a teacher. I'm a role model. I'm a guy who gets a kick out of seeing my guys not just go to the NFL, but, you know, become better businessmen, become better husbands, become better fathers. I mean, that's kind of what I see my job is. It makes it hard when they have that easy out, that they can just transfer somewhere else. And, you know, you worry about group of fives, FCS. Are we now going to become the new junior college? You know, or the guys above us looking down and saying, okay, you know what, PJ Hall? Oh, I bet PJ Hall can go play for us at A&M or Texas or Houston or wherever it may be. You know, why don't we have a little talk with PJ Hall's coach? I mean, that's the kind of stuff you worry about. And again, being in a group of five situation and the FCS before that, I could see us now becoming the new junior college. And that's a little disappointing. I don't want that to happen.
Casey, I want to end it with a pretty positive note here. My buddy John Harris, who worked for the Texans, wrote an article when he came out to Pro Day, and he was like, every NFL team was there. It was a crazy atmosphere. Some teams had multiple people there. Just to see that kind of atmosphere for your program, what does that mean, and what does it say about what you guys have built?
Yeah, we had 7 guys jump over 35 in the vertical. 3 guys that did over 31 reps on the bench. I mean, our guys tested unbelievably. You know, Zion McCollum had one of the great pro days, one of the great combines in the country. So it's so rewarding that we've built this thing to a level where, the expectation is we're going to win. The expectation is we're going to have great players. The expectation is, you can come to Sam Houston and do more than just get a degree. You can also win championships and move on and hopefully play at the next level. And that's pretty cool that we had literally every NFL team in the country there, and our kids represented very high.
Coach, I hope we can get you on right before the game here in September. I appreciate your time. Love covering you and all you mean to college sports and to athletes all around the country.
I appreciate it. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Casey Keeler there, Sam Houston head coach. Good stuff. I always loved watching him on interviews. He just always has great answers, and it's very genuine, and I know that his players love playing for him. It's been an honor to cover him, and I can't wait for that game. It'll be fun. Obviously, starting off the season, great atmosphere there at Kyle Field. It'll be nice to have them here, and looking forward to that. All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Radio, we have an open segment. We will do that. We'll take your phone calls on the BCSI hotline and also on the A&B text line. It's TexAgs Radio.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. The Salvation Army in Bryan College Station has received a generous donation to set up an educational scholarship. Find out more about the Bauer Family Estate Scholarship and apply online at SalvationArmyBCS.com. Grief Share, a special help seminar and support group for people experiencing grief and loss, is held on Sundays at Peace Lutheran Church at 4 o'clock. Call the church for more information. Relay for Life of Brazos County is Saturday, May 7th. Join a team, make a donation, or become a sponsor. Find more information and a link to register at WTAW.com. Support the Sexual Assault Resource Center through their Be a Light campaign by making a donation at sarcbv.org. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
These days, it's getting harder and harder to find savings. But you may have more